If you're concerned because you've been using brands like Big Twist, K&C, and you really like them and now you don't know how you're going to get them, I've got a great alternative for you. Now, the big difference is this store actually only has one physical location, but they ship all over the place. So let's get into it. If you have been around for any length of time, you probably heard me talk a ton about Herrschners. I just really love Herrschners. I thought this was a great opportunity if you're not familiar with Herrschners, or, you might have seen hauls, but you're not really sure about the type of yarn and all that. I want to go over it real quick with you. So I am on the Herrschners physical mailing list and email list. They will offer tons of deals on shipping. There's really a great variety of yarns. A lot of the yarns that you're currently used to getting at Joann's, a lot of Premier, Lion Brand, Yarnspirations, Red Heart. And the cool thing too is that they oftentimes have little like overstock runs of different yarns. I have gotten some Cairn cakes that were from Michael's. I have gotten some Bergère de France. I probably just mutilated that. I have gotten just a bunch of different like brands that you can probably get more at like LYS's, but not really at a big box store. So I've really enjoyed this. I've never really been disappointed, and I want to kind of reassure you that a lot of the things that you are currently purchasing from Joann in their private label house brands, you're gonna be able to get something very, very similar here. So I think what I'm going to do is try to overlay some pictures on top of this so I can show you a little bit better what your different options are. Although I have the catalog in front of me just to kind of help keep me on track and keep me focused and, make sure I'm not skipping over lots of stuff. I may be glancing down a little more than usual. The very first thing that I want to bring your attention to is if you are a person who has enjoyed getting Big Twist value, because it is pretty decently soft and a great value, Herrschners has Herrschners Worsted 8. Now, the 8 stands for 8 ounces. There is also a Worsted 3 and a Worsted 12, but the Worsted 8 has the most color choices in it. So looking at the catalog, it looks like there is 72 solid colors in the Worsted 8 and 16 different variegated shades. So, that's a lot. It's like almost 100 different shades right there. And I don't think Big Twist Value had that many. These pretty much run just under $5 for 8 ounces. So that's where a little bit of the discrepancy comes into play, is because I believe most of the Big Twist values were coming in 5 ounce. That is my cat scratching at a Joann box. Most of those come in a 5 ounce. So the amounts will be different. If you're looking at the Worsted 3, so 3 ounces, those are $3.77. That's my cat again. So those are $3.77 for a 3 ounce. And they have, so there's 36 of those colors. And then they've also got the Worsted 12. So that would be a little bit more similar to the Big Twist Pound Plus. It is 12 ounces and those are at $7.50, and there are 24 of those colors. So those are all great values, lots of options there. And I think any project that you have been using Big Twist value in, you could definitely use the Herrschners Worsted collection. Now, here is where I really think that Herrschners is superior to the Big Twist, in that they have several lines in their worsted, and they're kind of like themed lines, I would say. Yes, Herrschners Worsted Specialty Collections. So they have a neon collection, and these are all going to be in the Worsted 8s. So if you like neon colors, that is a great one. They have one that is specks, like speckled, which is like a tonal, almost like a tweed, but it doesn't have like the little flecks of tweed. It's just the dots. There is a Worsted Gradients, which is basically a striped yarn. Then they have stripes, which are like different colors, where the gradients, it's all like in the same color family, where the stripes, it is different colors. Then as far as like more solids go, there is a Herrschners Worsted Heathers collection, and those are like kind of like dustier muted colors. There's their MVP line, and that is some very, very common like sports team paired colors, if that makes sense. I have bought in the black and gold, so like the Iowa Hawkeyes. There is also some celebration ones. So there is the Worsted Celebrate yarn and the Celebrate Sparkle. The Sparkle is like $1 more, so that's coming in at like $5.97 for the 8 ounce. I have got a video on my channel, and it is my hexagon cardie, and in that I used the Herrschners Worsted Halloween line, and it was like Halloween Sparkle, and I used 2 balls of that. So it cost me only about $10 to get a full cardigan, and I absolutely love it. So let's get into a few of the other options that aren't just your basic worsted. So they have a Supreme worsted yarn, and this is going to be much more similar to that Big Twist Living, the low pill that they have. And while there isn't like the different striped colors like there was in the Big Twist Living, there is still quite a few options here. There's like 48 different solid colors of the I about said Big Twist, of Herrschner's Supreme worsted yarn. And that's going to be a lot more similar to what you're used to getting from Big Twist. So that is 3.5 ounces, 100-gram ball, 169 yards, and that is coming in at $3.99 a ball. So also a little cheaper than Big Twist Living. Like I said, I just want to make sure I don't miss anything that I had like wanted to make sure I covered here. I'm going to have the readers on and off through this whole thing. So if you liked the Big Twist Tweed, which I absolutely loved. I had gotten like a dark green and a plum one and a brown one, and just loved them. There is Herrschner's Timeless Tweed yarn. So this is also acrylic. There is only 4 different colorways in this one. There's an almond, a latte, a granite, and onyx. That is 3.5 ounces, 328 yards. It is $5 a ball. Now it is a 3-weight, not a 4-weight like the Big Twist Tweed, but very, very pretty and kind of like muted colors. If you are into like the big bulky 7-weight blanket yarn, they most definitely have that as well. And if you are a person who does a lot of crocheting or knitting for babies, they have got so much here. Where I feel like Big Twist had some baby yarn, they have an absolute ton of it. So they've got this striped sweet swirls. They have got baby sparkle yarns. They have got 2-ply baby yarn. They have got the Herrschner's Worsted baby collection. So those are going to be very, very similar to the other worsted ones, but all in like baby colors. So there is sparkles, there is multis, solids, and stripes. And they all do a great job of coordinating well. And another thing I really like is if you are unsure about pairing them, they have a bunch of packs already put together, and there's like just a small little extra discount buying the packs, but you know they're going to match perfectly. And I know this isn't as popular, and I don't remember Big Twist having one, but Herrschner's has a scrubby yarn. They definitely have cotton yarn as well. So if you are into making a lot of kitchen dish rag projects, they have got you covered. There is a colorful fleece yarn, which I believe is kind of similar to like Premier's Parfait Chunky. And they actually just came out with one called Squishy. And this is they claim it is an amigurumi stitch up quickly with chenille style yarn. So that is also pretty new. And if you are like Shannon, I do not care about a lot of the Big Twist acrylic yarns. I am far more interested in the K&C wool blends, specialty yarns like that. What I want to tell you about is Herrschners actually has like, I don't want to call it a sister store because it's all really the same company, but there's something called Willow yarns and you can order it all on Herrschners. And Willow yarns has much more of selection of yarns that I say are more similar to K&C, where it is wool, superwash wool, wool blends, fibers that are maybe just a little bit more upscale, but the prices are still really good. Lots of different options. Like I said, Herrschners has a bunch of those big name companies, but under their line, you'll find Herrschners, Willow, Soho, Nob Hill, Department 71. So there's several different lines being sold private label, just like how Joann had Big Twist and K&C and how it used to be buttercream, same type of thing. Several house brands that are available, and while at the same time having a great selection of large brands to choose from. I think this is a great option if you're not happy with the selection of other craft stores in your area, or if they're just flat out too far away for you to drive to. I know, like I said, there's just the one Herrschners retail store. It's in Wisconsin. It looks like Stevens Point, Wisconsin. And I believe I am going to go ahead and say it. And if I find it, I'm going to look it up on the website while I'm editing just to make sure. And I'll edit this part out if it does not coincide with what I'm about to say. But I am pretty darn sure that they actually offer international shipping. So something else like, if you do live somewhere else, that it might still be available to you, even though Joann's, I don't think offered international shipping. And I know this is not a replacement for going in, touching, feeling the yarn, sniffing it, whatever you'd like to do, but it is a great alternative and the prices are fantastic. I do recommend trying to get a shipping deal if you can. I know currently when I'm filming this, I know it will be over by the time you see this because I believe the shipping deal ends today, but it was like orders over $35. I believe it was like $1.35 shipping. So I do try to time things out like that. And I will say there is not one of these yarns in Big Twist that I know of, but one of my absolute favorite yarns is the Herrschners Afghan yarn. It is a 2-weight yarn. It is so soft. A long time ago, a lot of the Herrschners yarns didn't used to be that great. They were a lot scratchier, much like how over the years most yarn companies have evolved and have gotten better and softer. Herrschners, I think at one point in time had a little bit of a reputation of being kind of scratchy and maybe not that great. But I can say that out of all of them I have tried, I think they are great and I do recommend it. I will have links down in the description box to Herrschners websites, to the yarns that I mentioned. I might label it in a list of my favorites or something like that. I don't know what I'll do down there. It depends how much time I have. But I just want to let you know that if you are worried about not having an equivalent of Big Twist or K&C, I think Herrschners has you covered. I am looking forward to talking yarn again with you soon. This is the end of February and that beginning week in March, I am going to have a new email out. So if you are not currently subscribed to my email, it is totally free, but there is a link down in the description box always in every video if you want to subscribe to that. And what I do is actually just email you an exclusive video that only comes out to email subscribers. So definitely pop on over to that link if you are interested in getting that, but I will talk to you soon. Bye.